Hey, welcome to day 5 of the 5-day challenge. This is, of course, the last day. I'm going to miss seeing you all. It's been really fun to kind of dig into these, what I kind of think of as root building, when we use my gardening analogy, like building the roots of your business. And so I want to talk today about our topic, which is selling. Everybody, raise your hand if you love sales. Yeah, no hands. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. And then I want to, and I understand, Annette, you have to hop off, but I want to take a few minutes at the end to talk to you about our Fuel Your Business Income Accelerator program, which is the next natural step. My goal is really just to explain it to you so you can decide whether it's right for you, right? No, we're not doing hard sale or anything like that, although I do have a discount because you participated in the challenge. But I just want you to understand what it is so you can decide if that's what you need in your business. So let me get started with profits on tap. Let's see if I can successfully share my screen this time. Oh, yes. It's working. Okay. So before I'll get into the plumber's mindset concept in just a second, but I want to kind of do a little recap of the whole challenge. So day 1, we were really looking at the roots of your business. My example of how I scattered my seeds in that dirt patch, what was a dirt patch in my backyard. And I didn't do any preparation or anything, just kind of let nature do what it did. And it ended up ridiculously unsuccessful. I had 1 flower. And so I believe that's kind of thinking about that same analogy with your business is you have to do that work to prepare your business messaging and your sales mindset and all that stuff so that you can really start attracting the revenue and making those sales and conversions. We talked about finding your customers. We talked about how you speak about what you do and how you share the success stories of the people that you've helped. And then yesterday, we talked about the yes factor, of course, being how to get your customers to say yes. Once you've gotten their attention, now how to move them to, paying you, and all those examples of different tipping points that might work in your business. That's going to take them from, thinking about it to actually doing it. And we know that there's a lot of people who sit at that thinking about it stage for a really long time. And so trying to just short circuit that, right, and make it a faster turnaround for you so that you obviously make more money. So that's our recap. So let's talk about the plumber's mindset. Okay, so this is going to be our example. This is you're a plumber, and this is your neighbor. So this is your neighbor on your same street, and she has just discovered a big leak in her kitchen. I talk to women business owners all the time, and most of them hate selling. And their reasons, see if this resonates with you. Their reasons are, I hate to bother people. I don't want to feel pushy or salesy. I don't want to go be high pressure. Imagine that your neighbor, this is your neighbor, and she has just discovered this. And you live on her street and you're a plumber. But here's you, like, well, I don't want to bother her. I don't want to seem pushy. I don't want to take advantage of her situation. And she is like, help me. I need your help. I think that we can see in this extreme example, really, if you have a solution to somebody's problem, you're actually doing them a disservice by not telling them about it. So if you think of selling as a way to serve people, you have the answer to their problem. If you are not at least telling about it, and I'm not talking about like high pressure or sleazy or anything, but at least just sharing, wow, I understand what you're going through. That's why I created my business, which helps people do this. It's this thinking of sales as a conversation and you sharing that you have the solution to their problem. To me, that was a big unlock in my brain when I thought about that. I am actually helping people. I'm not not even by doing the thing, but just by telling them that there's a solution for them. What are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anybody interested in sharing? Has any of you said like, oh, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to take advantage, I don't want to be high pressure? Do you tell yourself any of those things? Yeah.
All of those things.
Right. Right. Yes.
All of those things. I think, yes, I completely agree. When you look at it that you have something that can help people and you are simply sharing that. And if it's for them, great. And if it's not for them, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it is hard because I feel like we are very humble as women and we're used to kind of
Mhm.
stepping back and not being like, hey, I've got this for you. I could help you. I could, we it's just hard to put yourself out there like that.
It is. I agree. It is. And then once you do it, though, and thank you for sharing that, Crystal. Once you do it, it you'll be you'll be received. Nobody will say like, "Don't bother me with your stuff." You're not a used car salesman, right? Like you are a heart giving person who has created this business around what you do to help people. You will be received. People will love to hear about it. If it's not for them, that's okay. They might know somebody, right? But in particular, when you're in a sales conversation with somebody who has this problem and you aren't sharing what you do and how you can help them, you are hurting them. You are actually doing them a disservice, not even giving them that option, right? You're sending them off into the world going, well, I wish I had a solution. They were just talking to you. Oh my gosh, it would have been perfect. We go into the sales piece pretty big in Fuel Your Business Income Accelerator, but I'm going to put a pin in that for now because what I want to do, one of the things that I think is really helpful is to kind of think about, I think sometimes we have these big goals, like I want to make $100,000 a year. Okay. But we don't break it down into what that actually looks like. And so this is our little activity for today. We're going to calculate how many sales you need each month to reach your annual income goal. So the first calculation is your annual income goal divided by 12, obviously, is your monthly income goal. So, example, if you want to make 60,000, that's $5,000 a month. And this is all in your workbook. The next one, you may already know what your average sale amount is, or perhaps you sell one thing and that's how much it is. But if you don't, you could take your total sales last year divided by the number of sales that you made, which would equal your average sale amount for last year. And we can build a model on that, right? It might not be perfect. It might not be exact. If you sell different price point things, we're just going to kind of average it. So in this example, if you made $40,000 last year, you had 48 sales, that averages out to $833 each sale, even though some were higher and some were low, of course. Okay, so then next, we're going to calculate the monthly income goal divided by the average sale amount, and that's how many sales per month you need. So in our example, with the $60,000 goal, which is $5,000 a month, your average sale amount is $833. You only need 6 sales per month. I feel like this kind of a calculation actually is often another big unlock. Like, wow, actually, I don't need to make that many sales per month to reach my goal. And then once you have kind of a number, I find it very helpful or a lot easier to make a plan to make those sales. So, right, like, is that possible? And is it possible? Is it easy? Are you already doing it? Of course, if it's not possible, if you're like, if let's say it comes out to like 10 sales a month and you're like, yeah, that does not seem likely. Well, then there's other levers to pull. You could pull the lever of the average sale amount. Okay, well, if you're talking to a lot of people each month, but they're not converting into 10 sales per month, maybe you're not talking to enough people, maybe you're not talking to the right people, maybe your average sale amount needs to be higher, maybe you adjust your monthly income goal. But I think just having this number to shoot for is something that you can actually then plan around. So again, like making a plan to get those sales. So let's kind of go back and talk about some of the things that we've learned throughout this challenge that we've talked about. So, how can you implement everything that you've learned in this challenge to get those sales? So, first of all, it's confidence, right? Confidence, finding the right people and connecting with them. If you're talking to the wrong people, they're not going to convert, right? We know that. Or if you're talking to the people who are too far over on the customer awareness continuum, they're also not going to convert right now. You might keep them warm, but they're not converting yet. So who are your ideal customers? How are you finding them? How are you converting them or connecting? Yeah. And then talking again about how I think that elevator pitch plus, I love it because it really includes and it gets down to the heart of why people care, why they should care, why they should work with you. And so talking about that value that you offer and the successes that you've had with other people, that's how you connect with your customers. That's how you get them to convert. They want that same kind of success. They have their dreams and you help them reach their dreams. And identifying your tipping points, right? So is it scarcity? Do you have limited enrollment, limited time on your calendar, some kind of a discount, perhaps bonuses? Like, what are those things that you can use to obviously get them to just make a decision, right? To work with you. And then, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, finding the person who is really ready. And so again, there's lots of people that you could, like, let's go back to that ant spray example, right? You make ant spray. Sure, there's people who don't even know they have ants. There's people who have ants, but they're trying to deal with it with sugar or whatever, an anteater. And then the people who are like, no, I want an ant spray. Great, I have an ant spray. So when you're doing your marketing and when you're doing your networking and all your social posts and your website and everything, you're talking to the people who know they have ants and know they want to spray. And it's just a question of what spray. So how can you talk to your people at that critical moment when they need you? And when you're talking to them, they're going to identify themselves, right? They're going to hear what you're saying and go, well, that is me. And the people who don't do that, who say that, don't say that's me, no problem, right? Like, that's fine. They're going to scroll past it. They're going to not listen, but that's okay because you're not spending a lot of time on that. You're spending your time on talking to this very specific people who need what you do and they need it now. Does that all make sense? I would love to know from you all right now, before I go on, I just like to know, like, what kind of really was helpful to you during this challenge? We had the mindset, I'll flip back. We had, the confidence mindset, finding your customers, talking about your business, the tipping points thing, and then the piece about, the plumber's mindset. Like, if somebody has a leaky pipe, you're not going to be shy about, hey, actually, I can help you with that. I'm a plumber. I can help you with that. How are you, or not even how are you, but just like remembering, like, people, your customers, your ideal customers are the people with the leaky pipes. They need you. So out of these things, like, what was kind of really helpful for you all?
I think all of it's been really helpful. There were some things that I kind of had a clue about, but sort of confirmed and like put things down specifically in a way that I could understand, but really helped kind of solidify some of those inklings I had. But I also like the very first day, that idea of sort of putting down exactly what you're good at and what you do. I've been really trying to discern exactly where my business fits in with my life as well. And so that kind of helped me, pinpoint a little bit better how much I want it to take up in my life. So
Mhm.
that's which maybe less sometimes than I was thinking it needed to before. So
Yeah.
because I have a part-time thing. So yeah, so that was really helpful to kind of help discern things. So
Thank you for sharing that. And I think, you can certainly do less better and have bigger results, right? It's just focusing on those specific things that you need to really have clarity on and let the rest of it go. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else?
I
You
really
do.
got a lot of value out of the feedback that you offered on the Pitch Plus, not just for my own, but in how you gave unique feedback on each of the pitches. It helped to hear how what stood out versus like even comparing to like what I heard versus what you called out. I think that helped me get a lot clearer on what works versus what doesn't.
Well, thank you. That's great. I appreciate that. I think it's a great opportunity to, even if you never say that exact sentence, although I would encourage you all to, right? Like practice that sentence and say it all the time. But even if you don't ever use it exactly like that, just thinking it through so that you and writing it down, right? Like it just gives you clarity so that you can kind of connect the dots for people as you talk to them. You're this kind of person with this need. Oh, look, here's the solution. So thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? All right. I want to take another moment. This is how I want you to be here. Okay. I want you to be this woman here. So excited about all the money she's making. So I want to talk kind of a little bit more about like who is right for the Fuel Your Business Income Accelerator program. So it's really, if you see the value of focusing with me on this type of thing, so these sort of roots of your business, to increase your income, this is a good program for you. If you want to go deeper into these strategies, and other strategies, and I'm going to tell you all about the program in a minute. And then, there's some things that you need to improve on: sales, perhaps your pricing, perhaps like just delegating some things, streamlining your processes. This is a really good program for that. So it is 100% focused on helping you make more money and keep more money. So there's a module that is pre-recorded that you can watch, that's included in the program, that talks about your assets, protecting your assets. So that's like business insurance, all the kinds of insurance that you might need, and then trademarks, copyrights, that sort of thing. That's also relevant because it's not just about making more money. It's also about hanging on to it and not risking it, right? Or reducing the risk there as well. This program used to be a little bit more of a boot camp on like grow your business. And we realized that what people at where you all are, what you really need is the focus on revenue. It's just, you have to get these basics in place and really clear. And, sometimes we had a woman, sometimes this program is for people on the earlier stage, but we had a woman last year who was 20 years in business, and her business had shifted enough so that she needed to do this again, just like re-clarify, establish what her roots were so that she can grow, right? Just the same with the garden. So yes, you need to be in business. This is not a start your business program. You need to already be in business and making some sales. And the reason for that is so that you have some kind of data, right? We can talk about what you've learned, what worked, what didn't work. And so that's, part of the criteria for the program. Doing all the things, right? That's the other part of it. Most women that are in this program don't have much of a team or any team. And you get overwhelmed with all the stuff that you have to do. Of course, we all know that. And just like we were just saying in that, like sometimes you can pare back and let some things go and focus on the things that actually will bring in the money. And there you go. Not bringing in the revenue you want. Last year, Francine Crawley, who has this professional hair care products company, she told me, I was always go, go, go. And I didn't think about all these things until this program. And that really helped her get some clarity on how to position her hair care products. There's so many different kinds of hair care products, right? Why should I choose hers? And she got to be really clear on what she does. So just a little bit about the program itself. It's a 6-week program, starts on March 18th. It's live online, just like this, Zoom. We start at noon, goes noon to 1:30 on Wednesdays for 6 weeks. 90 minutes over lunch. And they're all recorded. So if you miss them or you miss one or have to jump off early or whatever, you'll get the recordings, just like we've been doing with this challenge. We bring in subject matter experts to teach. I'll teach some of it, but we bring in other people to teach as well. Here's another one of our alumni from this program, Afton, and she's a health and wellness coach, and she really liked that format. She sometimes had a lunch meeting that conflicted with this, and so she just was really appreciated the fact that it was recorded so she could go back and watch it. Okay, so here's the layout for the 6 weeks. So find your customers. Number one, we go into the problem you solve. There's a dog on there because that's my example. We talked about dog food, the problem you solve. So we're going to get super, super, super clear on that. We talk about who your ideal customer is. We also get super clear on that. And then we formulate your big promise. So this is an expanded version of the elevator pitch plus. And this is a big part of the program. Then module 2 is define your message. So talking about your business. So we're going to figure out what your unique selling proposition is. We're going to bring Jasmine in to talk about brand pillars and how to use them for your marketing and for all the things that all the ways that you talk about what you do. And then we'll loop back into the storytelling thing, and we're going to help you build your founder story, which is also another compelling piece of your marketing. Module 3 is all about sales. So we're going to do more of this seller's mindset stuff. And then at the end of that module, we have role playing. So we break you off into groups on Zoom, the breakout rooms, and you role play your sales conversations. And this is the time, the safe space for you to be awkward or, not quite have it down or say, no, wait. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say this. This is the time. And it's lovely to have that safe space because the stakes are zero, right? There's no stakes. They're not high stakes. They're not low stakes. There's no stakes. It's just getting comfortable with talking about what you do and then asking for the sale. And that, however that looks for your business, whatever is comfortable for you, that's what we're going to practice. Mind your money is next. So we talk about pricing and profitability. Part of the income accelerator thing is it's not just about the revenue, it's about profitability. Again, like how much of that do you keep? So we talk about that, like different models for pricing, different levers you can pull for your profitability. We have an accountant talk about budgeting and projections, and I love the way that she explains it. It's very simple. Module 5 is all about funding. So you may have already been bootstrapping, right? But there might be, I know Crystal, this is a big piece of what you're doing. We have a panel of funders. We have grant writer. We have a micro lender. We have a traditional lender, and we have and then I talk about crowdfunding. And so just all the different options and like, what are they and how would you qualify and how can you use the money? So that's perhaps not quite what you're ready for yet, some of you, but like understanding it is really important. And it's also allows you to dream a little bigger too. Q&A with funders, as I said. And then module 6 is streamline and delegate. So this is about how are you using automations. We talk about your money-making activities, very specific, your MMAs. And then growing your team. What does that look like? 1099s, W-2s, contractor or vendors. Like how can you think forward into growing your team if that's in the cards for you? We have some bonuses. So this is a really strong curriculum. And then the bonuses I love. So we have a downloadable workbook, much like what we have for the challenge. When you're all done with the program, I offer a website messaging review. So I'll take your big promise that you create in module 1, and I will go through your website page by page and give you feedback about whether I think your website supports the messaging that you need, that you want to have. So that's very valuable, provides you a lot of clarity. Also, if you do a pay in full option for this, I offer a one-to-one pricing consultation with you so we can really dig into your specific situation. And we have 2 bonus modules. I mentioned the Protect Your Assets one. That one's recorded. We do a How to Pay Yourself module live. So we have an accountant come in and she talks for the first half about so depending on your business structure, there are different ways that you are allowed to pay yourself and how to figure out how much you should pay yourself also. So that's what she talks about. And then the second half, we have a financial planner who talks about how to save for retirement as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, because you don't have a 401k, with your own business. So that's a really powerful module. And then of course, this community of women that in your cohort, which is wonderful, and they're all right around the same business stage as you. So having that support and being able to learn from each other. I know Nadir, you said just listening to some other people, as examples has been helpful to you. And that's the way it is, right? You can ask questions, you'll learn from each other and from the experts that we have. Last year, again, Dr. Andy Huey, she runs these tours of sacred sites in Cincinnati. And that was her biggest benefit to the program, was just meeting these other women and the experts. So the price. So as you know, because we're a nonprofit, we keep our prices very, very low or free. So this is a $345 program. It's worth at least $1,000 if you calculate out meeting with all the experts and all of that. But we also offer a 2-payment plan of 2 payments of $175. And I actually also have, as I mentioned, that discount for you all. So I'm going to put that in the chat. So the discount code, so it's because you're part of this challenge, it's saving $50. And there's 2 different codes depending on whether you do the payment in full or the multi-payments, the 2-payment plan. So that's that right in there. It's the same dollar amount off, right? It's just has to be a different code because that's the way the website let me do it. So I think for me, when I am considering a program like this, I kind of think, okay, like, what could I do this myself? Like, maybe I could just do it myself. And of course you can, right? I do think it's super helpful to have guidance and to help support and to have the tools that you need. And I think also all in the right order, the way we've designed the program, much like I've designed this challenge, is they build on each other. So we figure out, exactly what you do and who you serve. And then we talk about the messaging, and then we talk about the selling, right? Like all builds on each other, which is really helpful. Of course, we created the whole thing to be easy to fit into your schedule. And even if you can't come live, you've got the recordings. And I think the real key for a program like this is the whole point of the program is to help you make more money. So if you make one more additional sale, I don't know what your prices are, right? But hopefully one or 2 more sales, then you've already recouped your investment. So that's also perhaps helpful when you're making the decision. I think the other thing that I have to ask myself when I'm thinking about considering joining a program, I think, well, what if I kept my money? What would change, right? What if I think I'm going to DIY this, will I? And if I'm honest with myself, maybe for some things, and for other things, I probably won't change anything. So, again, just another consideration. I want you to feel invited to join me and the other women in the cohort. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I know, having learned about your businesses, thank you, Sarah, learned about your businesses, I know that you're all really good candidates for this program. And I would love to just talk with you about it if you have any questions now, or if there's any concerns or questions, or you want to dig deeper into any of the topics. Nothing? Okay, Sarah, yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much. I mean, truly, a wonderful, like, reflective time to come together this week. So thank you, Jill, for hosting this space. This has just been so thoughtful and inspiring, and to all the other women on the call, you know, listening to your stories and what you're dreaming up and planning and doing already is really great. So I just really want to say thank you, and thank you for the discount code and the information. I'm going to really put my heart into that and think about it. But thank you, Jill. This is really wonderful challenge.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that. That's very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I know, you know, sometimes when the price is low for something, we start thinking, well, you know, is it right? Is it worth it? But we fundraise all year long to make our prices be this low. And so, you know, I've considered and joined programs to develop myself as a business owner that are, you know, $2,000 and more. And I'm really pleased to be able to offer this for this amount of money and all the value. And because it's a small cohort, you know, I mean, you're going to walk away with very specific, customized takeaways, right? And that I think is really helpful as well. Like, you will really make progress, which is good, instead of being part of a really big cohort, which, you know, has its strengths sometimes too. But I think getting to know the women, as you said, Sarah, it's just really, I'm inspired every day by what you all do, right? Everything that you do and how hard you work and your passions and your ideas. And I just love it. And I love to be able to introduce you all to each other. Anybody else want to ask a question or share or have any comments? All right. Well, ladies, it's been such a pleasure to see you every day. I'm going to miss you on Monday. So keep me in your thoughts. I will send, of course, the replay and additional information about this program. Thanks, Nadira. And yeah, I would love to welcome you into Fuel. So hopefully that will work out for you. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you. See you soon. Hope you feel better, Crystal.
Thank you.